What's up, guys? Scott here from Chernobyl Studios. Today we are going to look at the magical MRH810 lead series guitar amplifier from Nembrini Audio. This is my favorite Marshall amp simulator. I just want to tell you right now, I've had this thing for a little while. I've been able to put it through its paces, and I'm super pumped to finally be able to talk about this amp simulator because every time I go to make a video about this thing, either I go to want to record a riff for it, I just start playing it and nothing gets done. So I just play it. I have a lot of fun just tinkering around with it. So finally, I just sat down and I was like, "Grr." I recorded one of my old songs, and here we are. I can finally talk about this amazing guitar amp simulator. Like before we jump into that, real quick, if you look down here at the bottom in the description box, there is a link to my guitar tone mastery course, which I have finally made available to the public. It's not an exclusive to my email list anymore. So if you want to find out exactly how I'm always able to create these amazing tones, now you can learn how. So it's in the link below. Anyway, let's focus on the amp simulator here. So this is a Marshall, right? It's an 800 series. There's been a ton of 800 series amps modeled, except for this one. This is the 2210, which basically means you got two channels here with a lead and a clean, all right? And you have a reverb. So very unique features for the Marshall lineup. As you may know, that JCM 800 pretty much has the one channel, and to make it clean, it's just a manipulation with gain and such like that. However, this version, the 2210, you've got a clean channel, a lead channel, and reverb. And the reverb is awesome. You're going to hear it in a second. I really don't want to read all the information on this page because you could just come and read it yourself. Here are some audio examples. Now, the cabinets and impulse loaders, they're pretty much the same as what I showed with the BST 100. Did a review of that last time. I'll put the link. I think it's in this side, right? I still got to get used to doing this. I think it's over here. Yeah, it's over here. Whatever, I don't remember. Anyway, it's up here in the cards. You can check it out if you want. It has a pretty cool included cabinet section and an IR loader. In case you're curious, the IRs are from Chop Tones. Really great company. I actually bought their Hesu 2x12 with Demon, the Demon speakers. I bought those a while ago. I've used it on a couple things. Pretty good stuff. High quality company. I like them. And so if you've used the BST before, the interface is all basically the same. Nothing new here. Just that now it's an incredibly awesome sounding Marshall 800 series amplifier. So let's get off this store page. Let's jump into Cubase. I'll just go right ahead and I'll show you what this sounds like in the full context of the mix with all the processing and everything I did on it. If you're wearing headphones, please watch out. The song kind of kicks in. So watch your volume, okay? Let's go. Go ahead and stop it there. You have a pretty good idea of how this is all sounding. So this is all in the amp. I've used no extra third-party stuff. Let's go ahead and look at what I used. I like the console view a little bit better. So here's everything I've done. So I am using the Boss pedal. Now, this thing is flipping amazing. I really like this. This is basically like a Marshall amp and a pedal, but it's really awesome. We can use it for overdrive and pretty much like saturate the signal a little bit going into the Marshall amp. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. You can manipulate the gain and the levels here, and you just add this character to the amp. I really can't get over how amazing this is. I have started to really experiment with this a lot more over just using a standard green OD pedal. Really enjoyed the characteristics that I was able to get with this, and it pairs like perfectly with the Marshall, which I guess would make sense because it's a Marshall governor pedal, so it would make sense that it would pair well with a Marshall amp. So from there, obviously, we go into a noise gate from Nembrini. Sorry, this is their analog rack. Now, the amp sim itself has a noise gate. I just wanted to test the noise gate from the analog rack. No rhyme or reason, just testing it out. And then finally, we have the amp simulator itself. So here it is, the whole thing. It's awesome because, like I say, you can resize this thing as I'm getting older and my eyes are getting shittier. I like having big interfaces now, so I think I need to invest in a 2K monitor or something so I can just blow things up, so I can still have more room to do stuff. But anyway, so here it is. It looks exactly the same like the BST did. And then so you got basically your taskbar up here. You've got presets that you can load, a bunch of factory presets if you want to check them out. Cool thing is if you look up here, you have a folder path to exactly where they are. So if you want to look at them or put your own presets in there, you can do that. You got a cabinet impulse loader here. It functions exactly the same like I just showed you in the BST. Cabinet impulses and bypass if you want to use your own cabinet IR loader. Now in this case, I'm using the 1960B 4x12 with G12M speakers. I like G12s, Marshall cab, Marshall amp. Gonna do the whole thing here. I went with an SM57 and a C414. There's no real rhyme or reason why I do this. It's just what my ears liked and what my ears led me to choose. Like I say, if you're curious how I do all this, link below where you can learn how to do that. So there's a mixer here with mic 1, mic 2, and ambient, which is basically a mic room that you can put into the signal. Really cool to add like depth and body to the guitar tone itself if you want to fill up space, which is usually not the case with really fast music. The aforementioned noise gate, which I didn't use, and the levels here, which is awesome. You have a visual representation of how hot your signal is. 2 thumbs up for me because I'm a big visual learner. If you don't really know how this works, there is a manual and it's fantastic. Go ahead and read it. Nembrini Audio actually created a good manual. It's useful. That's pretty much it. Now, if you want to use if you want to use the impulses, it overrides the cabinet section. Want to use the cabinet section, overrides the impulse section. Makes perfect sense. All right. You can close that with this button here. Now, do know that you can have this open and adjust the tone stack at the same time. You don't have to close it. But I want to close it because this interface looks amazing. Now, we're looking at the tone stack here, right? So remember what I said. You got the 2 channels. You got the lead, the clean, and that reverb knob here. Now, this is the rhythm channel. So obviously there's no reverb. You don't want to have reverb on rhythm. And you're going to notice my settings are a little bit strange. I got a lot of presence, not so much treble. Really took a lot of mids out and added bass because I was playing in E flat. So E flat can tend to be a little tinny, especially really thin strings. So added some bass. And that's literally it. That's all I did. That's how I got this rhythm guitar tone. For my lead guitar, it's the exact same thing. I just changed the settings a little bit. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. Made increased the presence a little bit more, decreased treble, increased the mids a tad, kept the bass the same. Maybe I increased it a little bit, I already don't remember. But reverb, we have a bunch of reverb here because I wanted to add ambience from the amp itself into the lead tones that I was tremolo picking. It would be, I think it would make more sense to have the reverb from the amp itself instead of just using a plugin. And then I just added a bit of reverb with a stock plugin later on. And that's it. There's nothing else happening. Just got a tuner here at the end of the chain. Nothing spectacular. So this is the exact chain for the guitar tone itself. Now I did all of my processing on a bus group essentially for the rhythm guitars and the lead guitars. We can talk about that in a second. And so essentially here, I'm only using 2 premium plugins. I'm using Soothe just to help level off the last little bit of harshness because, when you play black metal like this and you're just railing on chords and chord shapes with a lot of strings, there's tons of frequencies there. And I don't want to say white noise, but that is a classic situation where you have a lot of extra noise that you wouldn't have if you were degenting all the time. So the Soothe plugin really helps to just even that out at the last possible moment. Before all that, though, I have three instances of EQ. You might think this is a lot of EQ. It's really, really not. I just did EQ in stages. So I do my first EQ stage and I do the same thing that I always do. You know, my filters, do a little bit of a cut to get rid of the mid honkiness and then notching. And what ended up happening was, like I said, because the rhythm guitars are only strumming all the time. It's just a cacophony of noise all the time. So I ended up having to do a little bit more work to get all that stuff cleaned up. Um, but I'll show it to you. I'm just showing you the EQ moves really quick. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. And you will notice stock Steinberg EQ, nothing crazy. So let's just actually solo the rhythm guitars here. Skip ahead. Classic Marshall sound, aggressive, abrasive, a little bit harsh, but that's just how it goes with the Marshall. All right, let's take all the EQ off. I'll leave. By the way, this is the Joe Wanasek bus glue for guitars. It's a glorified L1. We are gonna talk about these plugins very soon, I promise. So just forget about this for a second. Just pretend this is L1. All right, and L1 is at the end of the chain here. So let's have a listen to the guitars with no EQ or de-essing. Let's go ahead and put everything back on. But you can just hear how organic that sounds. You can even hear the little bit of room ambience that I added in with the mix in the amp simulator. So it sounds like a Marshall. The tonal qualities are there no matter how much EQ I do, which is something that when you're dialing in guitar tones, you should understand from the beginning that you start with the speaker. Always you do. All right, and like I say, if you want to know why, link below. So I always start with the speaker. I find what I like first, and then I work backwards essentially. So with all the EQ there, it's not a lot, okay, and very little processing, and it's all stock plugins. With the lead guitars, I wanted them to be more in your face, so I didn't do nearly as much work to them. As you can see, I just dipped out more of the mid boxiness, and then I didn't really worry so much about all the high end frequencies because that's how it's going to cut through the mix. And like I said, it's not a big wall of noise like all the guitar strumming in the rhythm guitars. It's just chords, like three or four strings all the time. This is just a single melody line on a single string, no big deal. Totally different situation. If we have a listen. Yeah, this sounds so good. I really, like I said, this is my favorite Marshall amp sim. It's fantastic. I put on a delay. Here it is. Stock, stock, stock. Okay, delay, whatever. This goes into the sub mix, which basically I would do my pre processing before it hits my master bus. And I have Mongoose here. Now, Mongoose is something new that I've been experimenting with. This is from Boz Digital Labs. Mongoose, basically, what this does, if you look here, it says 100 hertz. That frequency, 100 hertz and lower, this plugin makes it mono. Really like this because it's far easier to get the bass to work together, and it just makes mixes tighter. I'm really, really enjoying this. Just something you might want to check that you may want to check out. I just throw this on not my master but my submix bus. Boom, everything below 100 hertz is at a 6 dB bandwidth is turned into mono. It's fantastic. This is the mix bus glue. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, and really the only other plugin that's doing any work here other than this would be Ozone, and I have it really only touching EQ, just some standard moves that I would make with master EQ, and then I'm just crushing the hell out of it basically. And that's literally it. There are no secrets or anything going on here. I'm not hiding anything extra. You can see I have drums, bass, rhythm guitars, leads, orchestral stuff, synth stuff, group tracks, FX channels, just room delay. I'm just only showing you the things that pertain to this particular video. Nothing strange or out of the ordinary. So let's go ahead and have a listen again. So all there is to it. Now, there's one last thing I want to talk about. If we go all the way down to the bottom here, this good old thing, iLock. Okay, iLock is the actual dongle is not required. If you read this, it says host computer or iLock cloud. Okay, so all you need is an iLock account. All right, you can connect it to your computer, no problems. You don't need a dongle. So please don't wipe this off just because. And lastly, the price tag 137. If you're not quite sure about this, there's a fully functioning demo here. Just grab the demo, play it, and you will agree with me quite quickly that this is one of the best, if not the best, Marshall sounding amps. This is the one that I go to straight away when I want a Marshall sound or I need something Marshally. This is what I pick up now. I don't even think about anything else. I love this amp, okay? Also, join their email list. They do flash sales sometimes. So you might be able to even pick this up on a flash sale or get a voucher or a coupon code. So it would pay to be on their email list and just, keep an eye out for what's going on. All right. But this is an amazing amp simulator, one of the best. I keep saying it over and over again. Nembrini Audio are really creating next level amp simulator software. Keep an eye out for these guys. Definitely, yeah, going to be using this amp simulator a lot for all of my Marshall black metal related needs. All right. So, guys, hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit like, hit subscribe. And like I say, if you want to understand how I'm able to do all this so fast, EQing and the tone pots and stuff like that, I made my course public finally. So you can read about that at the link below. All right. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Later.